I will never forget how I felt when I was about to open my aunt's apartment with her key for the first time after her passing from COVID. It's been weeks since I've been here. I felt like an intruder going into someone's world without them there. It's a horrific feeling. I opened this door, her slippers standing in a corner, her bathrobe on a white couch, a teacup on the table, her pills in a case, colorful pills taken up until Wednesday afternoon. Everything is in its place, but just everything is different. Pictures of me and my brother everywhere throughout her apartment. We were her life, our kids as they were growing up. Coupons, as she clipped them, on the couch. She left in a haste with a fever, thinking she'll be back just in a couple of hours. She's never returned. When my kids were little, I would come there almost daily to hide away from the busy life. I would turn off my phone and nobody could find me. I would walk into her bedroom. She had a special mask for me and earplugs, so I could just put them on and fall asleep for an hour. I walked into her bedroom. I opened the drawer. My mask is still there, and the earplugs. This will be the last time I would ever lay on her bed. I laid on my side of the bed and I closed my eyes. My aunt, she wasn't a legendary person. She wasn't a successful professional, a mother of many children, a life of a party, someone that cracked jokes, loud. No. She was a quiet warrior that chose to live every day of her life despite tremendous pain and suffering. When she was 8 years old, back in the Soviet Union, where I was born, she fell from a playground on a slide and hit her head. My grandmother, Zelda, who was a doctor herself, right away realized that her daughter was becoming blind because a brain tumor is growing. So we were from a provincial city called Saratov, and she knew that in 1950s there would be no chance of her daughter to survive the surgery. So she boarded an overnight train to Moscow, the capital of the country. And right from the train station, she took a taxi to the best neurological hospital at the time. To say the least that this was an ambitious plan is an understatement. When she arrived, everyone laughed at her. Who was she? She didn't have money or connections. She wasn't a diplomat or a high Soviet official. Of course she was turned away. But she wouldn't relent. This was her daughter's only chance. And from a cleaning person, in a couple of days she found out that the head hospital doctor was running in the snow in a park at 4 a.m. And so she went there and stood in the snow the entire night, and then she saw him running, and she went to him and fell to the ground into the snow and asked him to please save her child, give her a chance. He was a kind man, and he was really taken aback by this woman's dedication. And so he took her into the hospital. There were no rooms for her, so he put a cot in. And my aunt entered the hospital. This is where she spent the next decade of her life, in and out of grueling medical, neurological surgeries, procedures, and treatments. For her, life wasn't a cup of cake. She didn't take anything for granted. Not a smile, not a heartbeat, not one breath, not one calorie. Everything was a challenge, yet with time, she overcame them. And despite the limitations that the illness left with her, she continued to just rejoice and be grateful. She was my window of joy in my childhood in the Soviet Union when the world was pretty dark. She just rejoiced at everything, and life was just one beautiful, magnificent story. Before my aunt passed away 2 years ago, her heart just stopped. I think I was just tired of fighting. But as we were sitting next to the hospital in University of Pennsylvania and we were kind of giving up hope, she suddenly woke up. We were just shocked. And she told us she was on another side, as she called it, in a beautiful garden with unbelievable colors and flowers. And she was about to enter, but then she heard all the prayers, especially of the children, And she woke up with the ancient Jewish prayer in her lips, Shema Israel, Hashem Eloheinu, Hashem Echad, about the oneness and beauty of this world and one God. And she told us never to stop praying and never to stop believing. She lived 2 more years. And those 2 years were even more infused with light and joy and kindness. She clipped coupons. She shopped in dollar stores. She was one mean shopper. She collected more magnets than the refrigerator could hold. She ate a lot of chocolate. And her refrigerator was full of treats she should not have, like all the calorie, high-infused foods that I told her not to eat because she'll be heavy, and she didn't care. She danced, sometimes sitting down, and she just loved everybody. She was just one magnificent legend to me in my own personal journey. You know, being in her bedroom for the last time, near her huge, well, it felt like that, queen-size bed, I laid on my side of the bed and I closed my eyes, and I remember this Russian melody she used to sing to me. Дурманом сладким веяло, когда цвели сады. And I imagined her smiling at me. Whatever she is in this world, she's always smiling, because you don't have to be a legendary conqueror of the world. You could just be your own little hero of every day of your life and choose to find joy, love, and gratitude despite pain and limitations. Thank you.